to the top. By the dip, we won't let this moment stop. Sats in our pockets, we're running on this wave. To the moon we go, in crypto we are brave. The retrogrades got us feeling a bit strange, but we won't let confusion make us change. Crypto, astro, feel the beat in your soul. Money printer, go, it's out of control. Hold on, get strong, we'll never fade away. In this funky rhythm, we'll dance all day.
All right, there's the crypto theme song. Let's dive into the Bitcoin astrology. We have a full moon coming up here. Okay, so here we are, this lovely planet here. The good news is on this full moon, we have Mars trining Mercury. So these create an isosceles triangle with Earth, which means that they're creating a nice trine here. All right. Mercury is the planet of trade. Mars is the planet of taking action. And so some positive energy there. And in addition, we can look at the Bitcoin astrology coming up here soon, as Bitcoin is getting a nice little dump here. Yeah, it only went down to 96,000. A lot of people are freaking out. The painful thing is that altcoins, let's see how far altcoins dumped. They are getting a bit of a rebound already. Let's see. They went from all the way up there to down here, about a 26% dump. That is normal. That is, I know it's scary. I know for people who are rather newcomers, it doesn't feel great always. There's a lot of kind of fear that enters the markets, but that is very typical. I mean, look at what we got back here in August, a 30% dump. All right. So not even that much historically, but if we look at the liquidations, how many liquidations happened, it was actually very significant. So 1.5 billion liquidations. I believe I looked yesterday and it was at 1.8, pretty close to 1.8 total liquidations yesterday. So wow, phenomenal. Huge amounts of liquidations, which was even more than we saw back in August. So much bigger liquidations, but less of a dump. And I think the reason for that is just because there's so much more money in the markets now. I believe, is there like $1 trillion more now? I mean, if we look at the market cap, if we look at the total market cap, I mean, just in the last, just recently we went from like 2.18 trillion all the way to 3.6. So wow, yeah, more than $1 trillion has entered the market just within approximately the last month, which is crazy. That's a lot of money. So even that, I think this could be the biggest liquidation ever. It only dropped the prices, not that hugely. I mean, we didn't get a 50% dump. We got a 20% dump. Okay, so hope that makes sense and bring things down to perspective. Okay, so we can also look at this. You've probably been wondering what the heck is this really bright yellow line here. This is the global liquidity. And you could think of it like the money entering the markets. And there tends to be a lead time here. So if you look all the way back here, total liquidity was bottoming back in September. And then it took a few weeks for Bitcoin to bottom out back in 2020. So there's potentially like a 44-day or even sometimes a 90-day lag time here. So basically liquidity will bottom and then Bitcoin will bottom, or liquidity will hit a peak and then later on Bitcoin will hit a peak. All right, so if we take a look at the peak back in earlier this year, total liquidity peaked right here and then it took Bitcoin about 72 days later. Total liquidity bottomed right here, and it took Bitcoin a few weeks later. If we look here, total liquidity peaked all the way back in September, and Bitcoin just got its last peak 79 days later. Now, look at this. Now, liquidity is dropping off here. And possibly bottoming, or perhaps there's more downside to go. And if we go out, 79 days, that could take us out to February 11th. So really interesting that there is a possibility, it's not guaranteed, there is a possibility that things slow down in crypto until February. So pretty interesting there. But it might not be that simple, because if global liquidity shoots back up, then that might not be the case. Things could rebound, because if it goes back up like this, then that means we'll be heading into a major pump again at some point. Okay, so interesting there. And so we're going to be looking at I also want to look at Bitcoin dominance. Now, this is really interesting here. Let's take off that yellow chart. And if we go back and we look at really the last time the Bitcoin dominance fell off was when we got a massive altcoin run. What happened first is Bitcoin got this major peak here, December 2020, and then it started falling off. But then it looked like it paused right here. It took a nice little pause in this area for a while, and it took about 88 days, measured from the peak to when it really started to drop off a cliff. About 88 days pause there. We are possibly in a similar situation here, where Bitcoin got a huge peak, then we fell off. We got a little bit, the altcoin started running, but perhaps we still have 88 days, if it's similar, of maybe some sideways action here, sideways price action, if it repeats like last time. And then after that, we get a massive altcoin run. So that could take us all the way out to February 18th before an altcoin run. So very interesting possibility here. Now, it's not guaranteed. It could be much shorter than that. The history rhymes, but perhaps it might not happen exactly like it did last time. Perhaps we could get the altcoin run before then. Perhaps we could get the altcoin run in January. Certainly possible. But I just thought that was really, really interesting here. And especially that we are getting a big pump here. So we're potentially heading into a very volatile time. If you look back here at possibly a similar moment, we dropped, we went up, we dropped again, just kind of this washing machine back and forth, up and down, 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 before we got that major altcoin run, all right? So these are the times when shorts, like people that are shorting the market, get wiped out, and people that are longing the market get wiped out, and just a really confusing time. This is really a great time to just kind of wait it out. Me personally, I don't like to day trade. I just like to hold. So it could even be a good time to just kind of stop looking at the markets and just kind of let them do their thing, let them play out. Because I think overall, I can't give any financial advice. In fact, I have to say that none of this content is financial investment advice. This content is intended for educational purposes only. But what I'm thinking is that I'm just going to hold it through this. That you can do what you want. But typically, if people just hold through this, eventually the altcoin run is going to come. And you definitely don't want to be selling when the altcoin run is going off on a tear, because on the other side, it looks like, if we go over here, well, actually, if we go back to 2021, it looks like this when we just go off on a major run. So we don't want to be missing out on these gains. So that's why I would not be selling much personally, but you can do what you want with your own money. All right, so Another thing that we have here is if we look at the altcoins, the total 3 chart, we look at where we're at right now, and we have just hit the previous all-time high with total 3. And typically what we see in this scenario is a lot of volatility. All right, so some dumps and then pumps and back and forth, back and forth. Very similarly to what we saw back in 2021 when we hit the previous market peak. We went all the way here. We got to the same level of the previous market peak. And look what happened. We went up, we went down, we went up, we went down, we went up, we went down. It took, how long did this take? From breaking the all-time high, you know, it took us a while to really get out of here. You know, maybe a month, about 24 days. So just a lot of washing machine action, up and down, up and down. And it did get a 34% dump overall. So when it peaked and then it corrected, 34% dump. Typically that wipes a lot of people out. People get too scared. But the problem with that, problem is getting so scared during these times, is then you miss out on all of this upside action here. And we don't want to miss out on those gains. Well, you can make your own decisions, but I would think you wouldn't want to miss out on that. I certainly wouldn't. But so far, we've only gotten a 19% dump. We haven't gotten a 34% dump. So it's not guaranteed, but it's certainly possible. I certainly wouldn't be surprised if we went up again, but then maybe we got another final dump if it repeats like last time. But certainly there can be some sideways price action, washing machine that scares a lot of people. A lot of people kind of run for the hills, and then it makes its final move upwards. All right, so now we can also look at the weekly close for the altcoins. Very nice weekly close. We closed barely above the previous all-time high for the total 3, the altcoins. And if we look at Bitcoin, what's going on here? Bitcoin's previous weekly close is 101. So really, really nice weekly close there. Okay, for some reason, if we want to look at the stochastic RSI, for some reason it's not letting me do that. Okay, so we can do that next time. Okay, so astrology. Here's the Bitcoin astrology. The full moon is happening in Gemini. So if we look at the full moon here, it's in Gemini. And what is also happening on that date, December 15th, is we're getting a very nice Saturn sextile to Bitcoin Sun transit. That's very bullish. So even if we do get a dump, you know, that's why I think it, for me personally, I'm going to be buying. So we got a dump here on the 10th. We did get the Sun square Bitcoin Uranus, slight negative there. We do get another slight negative, the Sun squaring the Bitcoin Saturn on the 12th. But then we get a lot of positives on the 15th, and then we get another positive on the December 22nd with Mars retrograde trining the Bitcoin moon. Typically on the full moons, well, not every time, but I would say more than 50% of the time we get a pump after the full moon. So it could, and then the fact that we're getting a lot of positive astrology right after the full moon just kind of doubles down on that theory. So that's looking good. It's looking good for a pump after December 15th, if not around the day this December 15th. So that's looking positive for the bulls. Let's see what else. If we go to the smaller planets, Mercury goes direct on the 15th, and I'd say that's slight positive as well. So that further solidifies a potential pump. Let's see. If we look at the transits to progressions, none of that is significant right there. But leading into February 1st, there's a really positive. The progressing Bitcoin moon is trining Uranus. So that's looking good, but that's much further out. So that could lead into an altcoin run. Not looking so bad. So overall, I'm liking how this is looking for the Bitcoin bulls. But we got to have the patience to wait out this kind of up and down action. Another thing I want to look at, let's pull it up here. All right, so I already went through that, the global liquidity. Now, if we look at the chart, this chart here, see if I can make it bigger. This is, so we are getting Mars opposing Pluto. And let me show you how that looks here. So if we go into January, we're going to get Mars opposing Pluto around January 2nd. So here's the planet Mars, and it's opposing Pluto. The last time this happened similarly was 2008, but then the time before that was actually 1939, right before some major world events. But look at each red line here, and in between each red line we got a major dump. All right, and we are getting that right now because the first red line this year we got was right before the U.S. election, early November. We did get a pump like this before it, and now we're getting a dump. And then the next time it goes off, Mars opposes Pluto is January 2nd. So that would, we would potentially get, if this repeats, we get a nice pump into January 2nd before another correction. Certainly possible before another final pump heading a few months into 2025. Now, another time this happened, which was much more bearish, was really the major bear market of 2008. And I don't think we're going to get something like this because I don't believe we're in a bear market. But if you look similar kind of where it gets a dump and then a pump into the second red line here, second opposing Mars opposing Pluto, and then another dump. And then after the third one, it starts to recover after that. So that would be in the most bearish scenario, but I don't think that's going to happen. But overall, you know, we got some dumps and pumps each time. So it happens 1, 2, 3 times we get dump and a pump. So we could see something along the lines of that. Like I was saying, this is kind of a repeated analysis here of the total 3 altcoins chart. As you can see back here on the left, we got a lot of volatility before a final major move up. So we could be in that similar place there. All right. Now we go back to the markets. Quick announcement. Well, look at this. Bitcoin's back at 97. All right. So after all that fear, Bitcoin is still at $97,000. Incredible. Holding strong. Quick announcement is spots are filling up for the Crypto Astro Mastermind this month in the next live call. So you get monthly live group calls with me, and you can ask me all your questions about crypto and astrology. In the next call for private members happening very soon, I'll be sharing a sneak peek for the 2025 Bitcoin astrology, guys. So far, I've been 90% accurate, all right, in the last 2 years. All right, so you don't want to miss out on this. Get insights on what's to come for crypto in 2025 and when the bull run could be over. Don't miss this incredible opportunity to identify when could be a good time to take profits close to the market peak. This is not a time to F this up, guys, all right? So this could be a major run up, and countless people didn't take profits in 2021 in the bull market and regretted it forever. And they had to wait 3 more years through a bear market before the markets returned, all right? You do not want to get stuck in that. You do not want to miss your opportunity. You do not want to make any major costly mistakes and miss the opportunity to really take profits, because you don't actually make money until you hit that sell button, okay? You cannot actually go buy things, go buy a new house with your crypto investments until you actually sell, because you got to sell into cash to be able to buy things, at least for now, for the most part. So people lost their hard-earned money, and worse off, they had to wait through a major bear market to wait for the markets to rebound. So don't let that happen. Sign up now, maximize your profits. use the special coupon code on the checkout page. So you click the link in the description box below, you go to the checkout page, type in "to the moon," and it should lower the price down. If there are more spots available, you'll get that coupon code. If the spots are already filled up, then you'll have to wait for probably next month. All right, so you'll be sent all the details for the next group call happening very, very soon. All right, I'll see you guys there. Thanks so much, everybody, for tuning in. Let's see what questions we got. Pump or dump December 15th. I can't give you like exactly, but most likely, I mean, we've already gotten a fairly significant dump. We could get another little dump, but I'm saying is that most likely we're getting a pump after December 15th. Okay. Solana, I'll have to make a video on that. Solana will likely follow what Bitcoin's doing. Still see more downside for Bitcoin till January. I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if Bitcoin went lower because it's only gone down to what, 94? I mean, I thought Bitcoin was going to correct down in the 70s, even last month. So I wouldn't be surprised. There could be some crazy event. I can't give you a definitive answer on that, though. Either we dump and I would buy that opportunity, or we just kind of pause out for a while is certainly possible. The monthly chart for Bitcoin. Oh, gosh. I clicked the wrong button. Monthly's looking great. I mean, look at that huge monthly candle up to 96,790. So monthly chart's looking wonderful. Huge God candle there. Can't complain for that. Worst case scenario, alts crash and Bitcoin to 75 before huge rally. Yeah, I think any correction I would actually probably get excited about because it would be one of the best buying opportunities, in my opinion, that I would be thinking. But you guys need to make your own financial decisions. Run for the thrills is much better. Is there a chance this December to go to 90K? Yeah, there's absolutely a chance, but I can't guarantee that. But yeah, that could be exciting. In this crypto game, you gotta love the thrills. You gotta love the ups and downs. That's just the name of the game. That's what this game is. Okay. Let's end it off with some epic crypto theme songs here.
Full moon's here, Bitcoin's in its prime. Bear market fears, we just laugh, it's no crime. Bull market vibes, got our gang in the groove. With Satoshi's spirit, we're ready to move. Not your keys, not your coins, that's the game. We'll hold tight now, we're all the same. Crypto Astro, feel the beat in your soul. Money printer, gold, it's out of control. Hold gang strong, we'll never fade away. In this funky rhythm, we'll dance all day. To the moon we'll fly, and the stars will play. In a crypto universe, we find our way. To the moon we'll fly, and the stars will play. In the crypto universe, we find our way.
Thanks everybody for tuning in, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace out, everybody.